everyone, we are back with another video, and today I am going to be doing a new reading vlog. So I feel like I have to kind of explain a few things for like context and stuff going into this vlog. So this vlog I actually originally was going to start a while back, around kind of the 10th to 11th, that when I had started my current read, Les Misérables by Victor Hugo, which I've nearly said Victor Hugo, which we'll get to in a minute. But basically, the reason I'm doing this vlog now and not then is the past 2 weeks I have not been reading, like past while or whatever. Because I really just, these past few weeks, I needed rest. My headspace wasn't with it for a while, and I think I just kind of needed a break from reading and things in that time and other things. Not YouTube. I was supposed to, it'll hopefully be way up by the time this video is up, but I was supposed to have a very old vlog now, like a Christmas 2021 vlog that shows like my Christmas and my Christmas haul. But the charger like part of my phone is broken at the minute, which means I cannot plug my cable into my laptop and like take off like the finished videos off my phone like I used to. I was trying to find a software that I'd be able to do it over Bluetooth. It's a whole mess that I'm trying to sort out. So I said I'd start this vlog anyway because I'm hoping to get that resolved this week. So that vlog should be up and you probably will have seen it by now. But this vlog is going to be over the last while of January because today is the 24th of January. And at the start of the month, as I said, my reading was going really well. And then I kind of just didn't read for a while, and now I'm kind of easing my way back into it. So, yes, I have a couple of things that I'm planning on reading this week. The first, obviously, as I mentioned, is Les Misérables, which I know this is a crazily long book. As you can see, it's massive. It's like 1,300 pages long. But the reason that I am reading this is because next month, it's not until the 22nd of February, so I don't know if I'll have all of this read by then. We will see. I kind of have a plan in motion at the minute, but I wanted to read this because I'm going to see the musical, like on stage when it's on tour at the minute, so I'm going to see the musical, and I obviously wanted to read the book beforehand, but I didn't know how long the book was, and I was like, oh my god. But I have heard great things about this book. I had heard it was a masterpiece. I had heard it was beautiful. And as I said, I'm a bit late with this vlog, so I've read like a bit of it so far. Yeah, I'm only like 90 pages in. But this book, so far, the main thing that is standing out to me is it is beautifully written. The writing in this book, now granted this is like an English translation. This is a Christine Donahue translation, in case you're wondering which version I'm reading. This is the one I set up for because everyone said it was the best translation from like what I have read, so I decided to get it. And the writing is fantastic. It is superb. It is just so like, it's just so nice to read. And I guess like this book, do you know what? Like in school lately and stuff, we've been talking probably like a while ago about like the different language types. This book is a great example of aesthetic language. It sounds so pleasant. It adds so much more to everything. And I love how it's at first kind of seemed annoying to me, but now I love it. The author will often go off talking about tangents and things that might not even have to do that much, like with what's saying, or he'll go into great detail about something that might seem quite little upon first glance, but he will make it seem like so much more. Everything has an underlying significant meaning, and it is just so superb. So obviously, Les Miserables is actually, I thought it was set during the French Revolution, but it's not. It's set in France a few years after the French Revolution, and we follow the lives of different people during that time, and we see, how the French Revolution has affected France, the issues with poverty in France at that time, and It is just so beautiful so far. So far, this book is divided into separate parts because that's the way it was originally published as it was coming out. And now, obviously, afterwards, it's always been published as one. And each part is divided into books. So, part one, book one was following like this bishop. I think his name is like, I'm not really sure. He doesn't really have like a specific name. It's just kind of Monsignor Bienvenu. That's what he goes by, or just Monsignor. But he's like this bishop, and we followed him for a while. And at first, I don't know how I was gonna feel following a bishop for a while. That was like the good 56 pages of like this book, the good first while of it. And it was really, really interesting. As I said, the main thing that stood out to me was the writing. I think he's a very, very likable character, and he's always there to like kind of aid the people and like make them feel better in times of need. And then just in the second part, we were introduced to, well, I don't want to say like the main character, because I feel like from what I've heard, Les Misérables kind of follows a few different like protagonists. But like the main character that I suppose most people would know, we have been introduced to now, which is Jean Valjean. I think that is how you pronounce his name. And I love him. Oh my god, he has my whole heart. He is basically like this like guy who was kind of, his family was struggling with poverty and stuff, and so he stole a loaf of bread, obviously to try and provide for his family, and he went to prison for 19 years of it, and he's just been released, and he has my whole heart. This book has me thinking about like, should poor people go to prison for stealing food? Like, obviously the act of stealing is a crime, but like, they're more so to me like people in need, like people who need help. Like, I honestly think like they should be given help, provided food, instead of being thrown in jail. And it just has my whole heart right now. And like, I just love this so far. So I'm absolutely adoring this so far. It is so good, so interesting. If you're wondering what these tabs are, there are actually like 100 pages of notes at the book, notes at the back of the book that help me understand everything. So that's good. That's the one thing that was troubling me for a while, but I'm kind of getting into like the flow of it now, is trying to understand everything, because obviously there's a lot of backstory, a lot of history, a lot of things you kind of have to know with this book. And there's things that come up, not just like old words and stuff, just like things that come up, like they might mention like a battle that happened or something about Napoleon or Waterloo, and I'll kind of like find myself googling it or looking to the back of the book to the notes section to kind of, have more context on it so I can kind of understand the story better. But this is just so beautiful so far. It has already changed my life. I am obsessed. I do not know how a book can be this good already. So beautifully written. Just so good written. Like, this is writing. This is writing. I honestly have not read a book with writing as good as this ever. Like, this is just out of this world. But we will talk about more about the writing in Les Mis tomorrow, because there is a part I want to read out, just to give you an example of that. So that's Les Miserables. I feel like I had to kind of give context to that. And then I am planning to, probably not tonight, because I want to spend most of tonight with Les Miserables. I feel like I should only call the book Les Miserables and the show Les Mis. But I do want to start Northern Lights this week, because I made a promise to myself that I would read this book before like the end of winter. And obviously we are approaching the end of winter, like February is kind of going into spring. So I really, really need to read this book. It's not that long anyway, and it's a children's book, so I'm hoping I can fly it. But this has been on my shelves for way too long. It was gifted to me by a friend of the family, and I just have never read it. And I do remember the like old movie adaptation of this, The Golden Compass, because I used to watch that a lot when I was a child. So I feel like I kind of have that context going into this, but that's about all. So I'm really intrigued to see what I'll think of this. So that is kind of my reading plans for this week. And yeah, that's it for now. Just want to kind of give you guys an introduction to everything And I will speak to you again tomorrow when I have like a bit more to discuss. Hello everyone, it is now Wednesday and I just wanted to update the vlog very quickly because it is kind of late, but I just needed to like fill you guys in on my current reading plans for like, I don't know, like the next day or two. So I have been spending like the last few days just with Les Misérables. As I said, I was gonna just stick with this for a while. But my plan now is I'm on page 110, right? Yeah. So I'm just gonna read up to page 135 because it's like the end of book 3 of part 1. That'll only make sense, like those weird, like the way it's divided up if you're reading it. But yeah, I'm just gonna read to the end of that part. So that'll bring me up to like page 135. And then I think I'm probably gonna go on a break from Les Miserables, at least for the time being, because I want to make my way through Northern Lights, as I said, and I still haven't started that. I'm hoping to probably start it tomorrow, which is a bit later than I would have liked to, but I've been busy. And this book is really good anyway, so I've just been really wrapped up in it. But I did say that I would give you guys like an example of the writing in this book. So I am going to do that now quite quickly, just to give you an example. So let me find it first. Okay, so I just found it on page 18. This says, it's not really spoilery or anything, so don't worry, but it's just to give you an example of the writing. And there's been a few good examples, but I think this is the best one because I was just mesmerized by it when I first read it. So basically, just for context, as I mentioned, there's a bishop, and just in this scene, he went to kind of talk with this man who's about to be executed by the guillotine. And this is like, you know, the paragraph that's written about the guillotine in this scene. I look so tired, so I'm gonna make this quick. But it says, as for the bishop, it was a shock for him to have seen the guillotine, and it took him a long time to get over it. And then I'm just gonna like hold up the book so I can read this. There is something nightmarish about the scaffold when it is standing there ready. It is possible to feel a certain indifference about the death penalty, not to declare yourself, to say yes and no, so long as you have not seen a guillotine with your own eyes. But if you do come across one, it has a violent impact. You are forced to make a decision to take sides for or against. Some, like the Maestra, admire it. For others, like Beccaria, it is abhorrent. The guillotine is the law made concrete. Its name is retribution. It is not neutral and does not allow you to remain neutral. Whoever sees it shudders with the most mysterious of shudders. All social problems raise question marks around this blade. The scaffold is not a structure. The scaffold is not a machine. It is as though it were some kind of being with its own sinister initiative. To all appearances, this wooden construction can see, this machine can hear, this contraption can understand. This wood, this iron, and this rope have a will of their own. Its presence casts the soul into a ghastly trance, in which the scaffold appears terrifying and involved in what it is doing. The scaffold is the executioner's accomplice. It devours, it eats flesh, it drinks blood. The scaffold is a kind of monster put together by the judge and the carpenter, a spectre that seems to live by some dreadful life force created out of all the debt it has inflicted. Like, I just think, like, if you can't agree with me that the writing is just amazing, like, what? I just don't even know. Like, even reading that, there's been so many moments where I've literally been reading this book and I've stopped and just been like, oh my God, like, I just can't even process how amazing the writing is in this book. But anyway, that is Les Misérables. So I do need to start Northern Lights tomorrow. I didn't update the vlog yesterday because there was nothing really to talk about. But there will probably be like more footage as we approach the weekend, because that'll be like when I have obviously my most free time. Because during the week I'm quite tied up with schoolwork and things. So I'll have my most free time at the weekend. And that's when I'll talk to you more, because I'll be doing more. Because today, really, just my point on updating the vlog was like to give you guys obviously an example of the writing in Les Misérables, because I did say that I would do that, and just to give you guys an update. So hopefully tomorrow I would have started Northern Lights and can talk to you a bit about that. So that's just my quick update. I can't speak. My quick update for Wednesday. Goodbye. Hello everyone, so I have not filmed a clip since Wednesday. The only reason being is like during the week this week I didn't have like as much to talk about as I was planning to. So I think like the weekend is mainly gonna be my source of vlogging for this vlog. Like, well, not my only source, but like I mean there's gonna be more footage over the weekend because I'm making more progress now and I'm hoping to get through the things. Yeah, I don't know like how these reads are gonna go because we are like coming up to the end of January, but I just like I'm still gonna film this vlog until I finish reading all the books I plan to in this vlog anyway. But we're gonna get started with my reading. So the last time I spoke to you, I was still reading Les Misérables, and I've put that away for the time being, just to take a break to read some shorter books, as I said that I was planning to. But as for Les Mis, all I have to say is that it's absolutely stunning and I am obsessed with it. Like I feel like as well, like I don't know like if this will be understood, but like it has a lot to say kind of about like life and the world, and there's a lot of messages in it that I'm picking up from, and I feel like I'm learning things about life as I read it. So I don't know, it's just like a really, really nice experience reading that book, and I like it a lot. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. But I have started Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. I think this is also actually called The Golden Compass in some places. I don't know if I mentioned it the other day, but there was a film of this called The Golden Compass that I watched when I was much younger, like once or twice. So that's like kind of all I knew of going into this book. I do know this is a trilogy. I do know they're kind of more children's books. They're not like... But the thing is, like, I was looking it up and like, I always thought they were kind of more children's books, but some websites say YA too. So I don't really know, but I do know that it's fantasy, and so far it's really intriguing. The cover is really pretty, but it's intriguing so far. We're following this girl named Lyra, and she's in like, I think it's like Jordan College is the name of it in Oxford. And the world in this book is kind of a parallel world to ours. Like it's kind of similar, but also kind of not. And it's a bit weird, but yeah, the main character Lyra is who we're following in this book, and all the characters in this book have like these, I suppose, kind of creatures or beings called demons. That's like the way it's pronounced, but it's spelled like on the back of the book there. I don't know if you can see it, like here. Yeah, it's a bit weird, but it's pronounced like the English word demon. And they're like these creatures that can like kind of shapeshift into any kind of animal, I think. And they're kind of like companions essentially to like the characters in the book. So they're really interesting. And I do remember that because I remember like the bear from The Golden Compass, which is obviously Lyra's demon. and Lyra's demon's name is Pantalaimon, I think. Yeah, I think so. But basically, just so far, we're following like her in this college, and we've seen her uncle is like kind of this explorer or whatever, and his name is Lord Asriel, and he like set out on an expedition to the north to kind of investigate weird things that were going on. And one thing he mentioned was the Northern Lights, and he mentioned that like he was like showing photos to a bunch of people, and he's noticed that like you can kind of some like way or whatever he did it, you can see like kind of the outline of a city in the lights. So there's like weird kind of things he's going on that he's going to investigate. But I'll just read the blurb to kind of explain it to you guys, because that's just what's been happening so far, which I find very intriguing. And it's definitely interesting so far, and I'm interested to see like what they can do with it and where it can go. But on the back it just says, Lyra and her animal demon live half wild and carefree among the scholars of Jordan College, Oxford, but the destiny that has awaited her since birth takes her on a dangerous journey to the frozen north in search of the kidnapped friend. It is a journey that will have immeasurable consequences far beyond her own world. So that is that. It's intriguing so far, and I'm excited to see like where it goes. The other thing that I want to talk about quickly in this clip, because I'll probably do another clip like later when I've like read a bit more, is last night I watched for the first time, because everybody has been talking about it, and I have Disney Plus and it's on it, so I watched Encanto, the newest Disney film. I absolutely adore Disney films. I just think they're so cute and like heartwarming, and I love them. And this was no exception. It was fantastic. One of the best Disney films like I've seen in the past few years. It was so good. And it was made by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who I love. Like, obviously, he's like a musical theater Broadway legend. And I just think everything he does is fantastic. And this was such a good film. And I cannot get the songs out of my head right now, especially We Don't Talk About Bruno, which I know is very popular at the minute. And I'm obsessed with it, and it's so catchy. And I just think the soundtrack is amazing. The cast is amazing. Stephanie Beatriz voices the main character, Mirabel. But yeah, it just kind of followed this like group of family who live in the Encanto in Colombia, and they're called the Madrigals, and they all have their own magical gifts. But then Maribel does not have a gift, and she's trying to find out why. And then like some stuff starts to go wrong with the magic, and she kind of sets out to figure out like what's wrong with the magic, and kind of tries to fix it. So it's a very, very good film, and I highly recommend giving it a watch if you have Disney Plus and you're into musicals and Disney and just cute, heartwarming films. So that is this update for now, and I will speak to you guys probably later on. Okay, everyone, so it is now Sunday, the 30th of January, so we are approaching the end of the month, and I've made like a good bit of progress with Northern Lights today. I am enjoying this so much more now. I think at the start I was kind of just intrigued, but I wasn't like too sucked in, whereas I feel like it was kind of like building up very slowly at the start. And I feel like that the book is kind of slow moving, but it's well worth it because it's explaining things and giving a lot of detail. So like everything feels kind of more like more depth to it, kind of more thought out. And I'm really enjoying this now. I love the main character, Lyra. I think she is so fun, and just, is just doesn't care like what anyone thinks of her. She's just living her life, living her best life, and I love like the vibes of this book. There is such like a cozy, wintry, adventure feel to this book so far. And I'm really here for it. I'm loving the vibes. Like, especially the like first good bit of the book was set at her college, and we've kind of moved out of that now. We're in London. Don't even get me started. I love books set in cities like London and New York and Paris. And like shows and films too. I just love like city life. Oh, so I'm really enjoying this, and I'm just, yeah, I love like the kind of mysterious vibes to it too. Like we're still kind of uncertain of like a lot of what's to come, obviously, and we are kind of seeing mysteries unfolding. Like for example, there's children starting to being taken around like the area where Lyra lives, and there's all these kind of weird things happening and things that are being mentioned that we don't know too much about yet, but we're kind of learning things slowly as we go along. And you know, she's like moved out of the college right now. She's staying like with this woman. I don't really want to go into detail onto who she is, because I feel like it might kind of spoil some of the stuff, but she's with her right now and she's kind of teaching her stuff. But I'm loving this. And the thing I love so much about this as well, I just think it's so cute, is that every human in this book, as I mentioned, has like a demon, which is basically their companion that can kind of shapeshift into any animal, I believe. I don't know if it can shapeshift into people, because I think I mentioned earlier on that like some guy who like died, his companion was like a lady, like a woman for most of his life. So maybe some of them can, but they're mainly like transforming into creatures here, like animals and stuff. And I just love it. I think it's so cute. Even following like the main character's demon, like Pantalaimon, he can like transform into like any kind of animal. Like, you know, one day he's a bird and the next day he's like an ermine or a, you know, like mouse or something, and right now he's a monkey, and I just love it, and I think it's so cute, and I love like their like friendship. Yeah, as I was saying, I just think it's like so cute, like the bonds that like the human characters have with their demons in the book. Very much like us having pets, except obviously they're not just one pet, they can change into any animal they want at any given time. And it is so cute, and I'm really intrigued, and I will be excited when we travel to the north, because I know that's when stuff's going to go down. I do kind of have a very, very vague memory of the film adaptation of this book, The Golden Compass, which I'm planning on rewatching after this. I know it wasn't like the best reviewed film, and it wasn't that accurate to the book apparently, and I hadn't even read the book when I watched it when I was younger, but I just remember watching it once or twice. So I'm gonna rewatch that, and I probably will watch the show if I read all of the books. I don't know, depending on my enjoyment of this one. As I was saying though, I'm obsessed with this cover. It's one of the prettiest book covers I've seen in a while. It's stunning. I love it. But right now, I'm gonna take a break from reading because I've been like reading for a lot of the day, and I'm gonna go actually rewatch Paddington 2. I love the Paddington films. I think they're so cute and heartwarming. And I actually saw recently that they're in the middle of filming Paddington 3, which I will be so excited for that, like when that comes out. But, or not in the middle actually. I think they could have finished filming, but I'm just really excited for that nonetheless. I didn't even know they were making another one, because it's been like some time since the second one. But yeah, they're both on Disney Plus over here right now. And then, what was that? I caught up on Big Sky yesterday. Yes, I didn't talk about that in yesterday's clip, I don't think. I don't know. I may check that I'm not repeating myself. But yeah, Big Sky is like, I think it's ABC like that makes it. But it's this detective drama. It's on Disney Plus over here, and right now season 2 has just started over here on Disney Plus, and it's coming out every Wednesday, but I just didn't get around to catching up on the newest episode till yesterday. And I have been so excited for the show to come back, because it was one of my favorite like new shows of 2021. I absolutely loved it. I started it in lockdown when it like hit Disney Plus in the star section, and I absolutely adore it. I love the main characters in it. Like they're like two detectives, kind of like they're involved in the police and stuff. Cassie and Jenny, I love them and their friendship. Oh my god, I love that show. And it's like so like tense as well, and like action packed, and I'm always on the edge of my seat, always wanting more after each episode, and I just love it. Like the first episode of this new season 2, didn't draw me in that much. I wasn't that hooked, and I was like, okay, not the best like episode, but it's like gotten moving again now. So I just really love that show, and I will be excited to continue watching it every week. So that's my update for today. I'm gonna speak to you guys tomorrow because I'm planning on just reading Northern Lights throughout the end of this month. So that is the plan. Chat to you guys later. Okay, everyone, so I just needed to come along and wrap up this little reading vlog because since the last time I spoke to you, I have finished Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, which I know literally very shortly ago I had just started it. But honestly, you guys, this book was just boring. Like, I just didn't have anything to talk about because I was so bored. And, like, I'm gonna try break down my thoughts on this book for you guys because I was really hoping that this vlog and this reading experience of this book would turn out better because I really liked The Golden Compass when I watched it as a child, and I thought this would be a really good book from like what I had heard about it. And the first like 100 pages of the book I really like thoroughly enjoyed. I was intrigued by, you know, we learned about Lyra and the concept of like the demons, which I really liked and all. And it was really, really interesting. And we were in Oxford, and then she went off to London when the character of Mrs. Coulter came along and swept her away. And she was one of the standout points of this book as the kind of antagonist in this book, Mrs. Coulter. I thought she was very good, and I liked her a lot in it. But after that, it just started getting very boring. Once, like, kind of the main plot actually set it in, where you have Lyra, like, traveling to the frozen north and, you know, seeing the Northern Lights and stuff and trying to rescue her uncle, Lord Asriel. It just got very, very boring. And there was, like, nice characters along the way, like the bear that I talked about. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I just remember that from the film. Eric Bernenson, he was like this armored bear, which are like these very strong like species of bears in the book. And it was cool seeing like him interact with like the other species, and just like I liked his character. And you know, Lyra like kind of runs away with these gypsies who are helping her like on her quest to like save her friend and save Lord Asriel. And I did like them too, but I think just the book was not what I needed in the end. Which is sad because the first bit I really, really enjoyed and it was giving me like good vibes. And then after that, I just got very, very bored. So I am glad that I read this book, but honestly, you guys, I do not see myself continuing on to the Amber Spyglass. Like, I really don't. I gave this book a 3 out of 5, but honestly, that was like being generous because I enjoyed the first part and like the characters. But even in this case where I had strong characters, it wasn't enough because the story and the movement of it just didn't work for me. Also, the writing at times, like at this, it is like mostly good, the writing in this book, but at times it got just, I don't know, a bit confusing and stuff, so I didn't like that either. In fact, I think my favorite thing about this book is the cover. Like, as far as my edition of this book goes, I think it's stunning and I love the cover, but that's about all I can say for this book. Really unfortunate because this was recommended to me by a friend of the family, and they actually gifted it to me as well, so I was really wanting to like it. You know that feeling when like somebody recommends a book to you and you really want to like it because they loved it, and it doesn't hit the mark for you. So that's how Northern Lights went for me, and that really wraps up this vlog. But honestly, I know this vlog wasn't a whole lot, but I think it just was nice anyway, because it just showed you guys me like with some of my reading progress for like the month of January. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed this kind of mixomatosis vlog, bit all over the place. But anyway, I hope you did enjoy it, and I shall see you guys in the next video. So goodbye.